record this. And if anybody wants to do this again, or if you know anybody else that wants to try it, everything is up on YouTube. So everything is free during lockdown, just like normal. So we're going to do a little bit of glute activation. Yeah, probably a little bit of the quads as well. So just like every other week, listen to your body. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. If you want to try a different variation of any pose, by all means. You can also go into child's pose at any time if that's where your body feels like it needs to be. So really listen and tune into your body, especially at the end of the day, or if it's been a very stressful day like today, maybe your body doesn't feel like moving as much as it normally does, and that's okay. Honor where you're at in this moment. So with that, we will start in whatever rest looks like for you. If it's Shavasana, maybe modified Shavasana with your knees bent and tented in. Oh, hold on, there's the chat. Maybe somebody's having some problems. Sorry, guys. Oh, Pam can't hear. Hold on, sorry, guys. We love technology. Sorry, guys. Okay, so Pam's gonna hop back in. So while she's doing that, I once again just invite everybody to find whatever rest looks like for you. I'm sure you're already probably in that pose by now. And then we are going to, oh my goodness. We're gonna start by taking a nice cleansing breath in through the nose, really slowly, filling up our belly, our ribs, and our chest. And exhale it all out the mouth, sigh it out, let it go. One more time, a nice slow inhale through the nose, filling up your belly, your ribs, and your chest. And really exhale it all out, letting everything go. And just starting to arrive on your mat this evening. Focusing on your breath. How does it feel to breathe today? Can you feel your chest rising and falling? And maybe with our next exhalation, we let our shoulders roll back just a little bit more, releasing any tension. Observing your body now from the outside, looking in without judgment, just as if you were looking at a photograph of a loved one. Notice the body, the front of it light and spacious, and the back of the body soft and broad. Your face becomes soft, and maybe opening up our heart a little bit here and allowing our mind to clear just like the nice, beautiful blue sky. Notice your pelvis and belly sink down deeper into the mat, and your legs become grounded and heavy. And just keeping that focus inward for just a few breaths. Feeling your inhalations and exhalations as they move in and out, in and out. And having a sense of your entire body just laying there on your mat, still and at ease. ready to accept the gift of yoga. And in your next few breaths, if your body feels like it's ready to start to wake up, I invite you to start with some small, gentle movements, whatever your body is telling you to do. Maybe it's wiggling our fingers and our toes. Maybe it's even rocking your head from side to side. And then maybe we even roll out our wrists and our ankles here, starting to expand our movements. Beautiful. We're going to leave our legs out long if they're not already there. We're going to reach our arms up overhead, palms facing in, shoulders planted on the mat, thumbs pointing to the top of the mat. We're going to take a nice big inhale here. And then as we exhale, reaching our arms up overhead, thumbs down towards the ground. And as we exhale, bringing our hands up over and around the side body. Starting to warm up our shoulders here, inhaling up and over. And exhaling down. 2 more times at your own perfect pace, really starting to marry your movements with your breath. Last time through here. And then arms down beside the side of the body. Beautiful. Legs to the midline, reaching nice and long. Arms up overhead, finding that nice big reach stretch here. Reaching nice and long from our fingers all the way down to our toes, really creating a little bit of tension here as we point our toes, reaching our fingers long, inhaling. And then exhale, just releasing heavy onto the mat. One more time if that feels good for you. Inhale, reaching nice and long. And exhale, releasing here, and then hugging one knee in and then the other, knees towards our chest. Again, holding onto the backs of the thighs or the tops of the knees. If we are having any knee issues, holding onto the backs of the thighs here. And we can rock side to side if that feels good. Maybe even shoulder to shoulder, kidney to kidney, but also knowing that you can stay in stillness. Beautiful. Coming back to center, hugging the right knee and reaching the left leg out long, toes gently flex towards the face like we're standing on one foot here. Shoulders back and down, hugging that knee in towards the chest. Again, you can hold on to the back of the thigh as well. Really noticing your breath here. When you breathe in, does your belly rise into your thigh? Giving all your internal organs here a nice little massage. Beautiful. One more breath here. And then as we exhale, reaching the right leg out long and hugging the left knee and right toes just gently flexed. Again, shoulders back and down. Breathing into this side this time. Maybe starting to notice those little micro movements where we inhale, lift a little bit, and then exhale, pulling into the space we create with our breath. Beautiful. On our next breath, right knee in to meet the left, knees to chest. We're going to release our feet to the mat, finding our bridge pose here. So walking our feet into wherever is most comfortable for your body. Feet planted here, just making sure that our hips and our knees and our feet are all in alignment. Knees pointing straight ahead. And we're going to start with some pelvic tilts here. So I really want you to focus on your pelvic bone and your tailbone. So we're going to inhale, and as we inhale, we're going to tilt our pelvic bone up just slightly towards our rib cage. Your glutes are not lifting off the mat yet. And then as we exhale, we're going to tilt our pelvic bone and our tailbone down. So the curve on your back should lift just a little bit off the mat. And we're just going to do this pelvic tilt just a few times where we inhale, pulling up just a little bit, and then exhale, tilting that pelvis down. Just noticing how this feels in your body. You'll probably feel your lower abs start to activate as well. You're really using them in this position. Beautiful. And 2 more times. This is really good for pelvic health as well. Beautiful. And when you finish your last round there, we're going to find our neutral pelvis. We're going to bring our arms to either side of our body, really rooting into our upper arms, our shoulders, and all 4 corners of our feet. And as we move into our bridge pose, we're going to start with that pelvic tilt. So we're going to tilt our pelvis towards our rib cage as we squeeze our glutes, lift our hips up to the sky, wherever that is for you, making sure your low back isn't turning on, knees pointing straight ahead still. And then we're going to slowly lower 1 vertebrae at a time all the way down. And then when we fully lowered our pelvis, we're going to tilt the pelvis down just slightly, coming back to neutral, tilting that pelvis up just a little bit, really squeezing our glutes to lift our hips up to the sky. And then exhale, really slowly lowering here all the way down, letting our pelvis be heavy before we tilt our pelvis down. Beautiful. Flowing through this 2 more times. This is probably very different movement, but it's so important for pelvic health and our pelvic floor. And then last time through here. Beautiful. And when you finish your last round, coming back to neutral here, letting our legs go to the other sides of the mat, and we're going to windshield washer that out. Feet, not our legs. Beautiful. Finding our breath here as well, letting our knees fall from side to side. Beautiful. We're going to come back to neutral, keeping our knees bent, feet placed on the mat, reaching our right or our left arm over our head and rolling over onto our right or our left side body, pausing for a breath. And then pressing through our palm, and we're going to make our way up into our tabletop. So tabletop, fingertips spread nice and wide. Really rooting once again, protecting our wrists. So rooting into our thumb, index, and pinky fingers. Knees are underneath our hips. Spine is nice and tall. Crown of the head reaching forward. And on our exhalation, tilting the tailbone up, belly lowers, heart shining forward in our cow pose. And exhale, really rounding in, chin to chest, cat. Beautiful. Inhaling down, cow. And exhale, rounding into our cat. And flowing through this a few more times at your pace. 1 breath, 1 movement. Maybe we close our eyes. Maybe we hold one shape just a bit longer than the other. Tuning into what our body needs. And 1 more time through here. Beautiful. Coming back to center, neutral spine here. Beautiful. On our exhalation, we're going to reach this right foot to the back of the mat. Toes can stay on the mat, or we can lift our toes up, flexing our toes towards our face, making sure our hips are square to the mat here. We're really pressing through our palms. Spine is nice and tall. And if it's available, when we exhale, we're gonna bend our knee, bringing our left heel towards our bum, and exhale to straighten. Beautiful. Inhale, bending. Exhale to straighten. 2 more times. And last time through here. And then straightening that leg. And then as we exhale, we're gonna round in, bringing that knee towards our chest, stepping that left foot between our hands, and then rising up to our low lunge if that's available. Beautiful. We're gonna exhale, hinge forward, planting our hands, right wrist underneath our right shoulder, left arm extending up to the sky, or our left hand can go on our low back as well. You can stay here if you'd like a little bit more. We can tuck the right toes, lifting that right knee off the mat for a breath. Beautiful. If that right knee is lifted, we're gonna lower it back down gently to the mat. You can untuck your toes if that feels good. Circling this left arm around, bringing the left knee to meet the right, tabletop. Beautiful, knees to the edge of the mat, big toes touch, sitting back on our heels. Walking our hands forward, really melting our forehead and our chest down towards the mat. Finding our child's pose. And really becoming heavy in our child's pose for a few breaths here. And always remembering that child's pose is available to you at any time. And perhaps this is where you feel like you need to be, and that's okay. We can find movement here. You can rock your hips from side to side. Maybe we roll out our forehead temple to temple. Beautiful. Coming back to center, we're going to look forward at our hands, pressing through our palms, making our way back up into our tabletop. Beautiful, setting up that firm, strong foundation here to start. And then as we exhale, reaching that right foot to the back of the mat. This time, again, toes can stay on the mat, or we can lift that leg, hips square to the mat. Spine is nice and tall, like we're holding our favorite drink on our low back, not letting it fall. Right toes flex towards the face. And then as we exhale, bending our knee, bringing that heel towards our bum or wherever it lands, and inhale, straighten. Beautiful. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. 2 more times, nice and slow here. And last time through. Beautiful, reaching that right leg out long. And then as we exhale, rounding a knee towards our chest, bringing that right foot in between our hands. And then rising up when it's available. Left toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels better for you. Shoulders back and down. Beautiful, exhale, hinging forward, left wrist underneath our left shoulder, twisting open to the right. And then if you'd like, you can tuck those left toes, lifting that left knee off the mat. If that left knee is bent or lifted, we're gonna lower it back to the mat. Circling this right arm around, right knee meets left, finding our tabletop. Maybe we find a little bit of movement here, whatever your body feels like it needs. Beautiful, and we're gonna tuck our toes and we're just gonna sit up, or sit our bum back on our heels. Oh goodness, talking today, it's not working. Beautiful, we're gonna stretch out the fascia here in the feet. So maybe we even wanna move our pinky toes away so there's no pain there. Now, if this gets uncomfortable at all, you can either sit up or you can release your toes as well. We're just gonna gently stretch out our wrists to start. So reaching the right hand forward, we're gonna pull our left hand, left elbow is straight. We're gonna pull those left fingers down, palm towards our body. And then we're gonna pull the fingers up, palm away. Beautiful, finding that on the other side, right arm extending, pulling those right fingers down, palm towards the body. And then exhale, palm up. Beautiful. We can shake that out. Maybe we want to do figure eights with our hands. And then we're going to plant our hands. We're going to untuck our toes and we're going to tap the tops of our feet on the mat here, getting the blood to pump again. Beautiful. We're going to walk our hands forward a couple inches, really rooting in, fingers spread nice and wide, tucking our toes, lifting our hips up and back, finding our first downward facing dog today. Again, knees can be bent as much as you need them to be to make sure your spine is nice and tall. The goal of this pose is not straight legs. It's to stretch out our spine. Beautiful. And then finding the movement that you need to settle in. Maybe we take our dog for a walk, lifting one heel then the other. We can rock our hips from side to side. Beautiful. Finding stillness here for a few breaths. And then we're going to bend our knees and walk our feet to the top of the mat, finding our forward fold. Torso really rooted on the tops of our thighs, bending our knees here. Head is nice and heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, hands on shins or thighs, crown of the head reaching forward. Exhale, bending our knees, forward fold. Beautiful, rooting down through our feet as we rise up to the sky. And exhaling, mountain pose. Beautiful. We're going to start with a lateral reach. So we're going to reach our left hand into our, almost like it's going into our left pocket as we reach our right arm up to the sky. We're going to inhale, create length, really reaching long through those right fingertips. And then if it feels okay, we're going to bend slightly to the left, rooting into our right foot. Beautiful. Coming back to center, right arm beside the right body this time. Left arm extending up. Inhale, really reaching nice and long through our fingertips. And if it's available, bending to the right, rooting into the left foot. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Finding a few sun breaths here. Inhaling really nice and slow all the way up to the sky. And exhaling down through heart center. One more time, inhaling up nice and slow. And exhaling down through heart center. Beautiful. And then finding our strong mountain pose here for a breath or two. We can roll our shoulders back and down. Maybe wiggle it out here, feeling nice and strong and rooted in our feet as we're rising up to the sky through the crown of our head. Maybe our palms are open, ready to receive all that is good. Beautiful. We're going to inhale our arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinging at our hips, swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, left foot to the back of the mat, high on the ball mound of that left foot, or we can lower the left knee to the mat, rising up to crescent lunge or kneeling lunge. Beautiful. Exhale, hinging forward, planting our hands, right foot meets left, downward facing dog, or we can even find tabletop. Beautiful. We're going to inhale, float forward like a wave to plank. Or maybe lowering our knees to kneeling plank, shoulders over our wrists. Exhale, elbows into ribs, lowering all the way down to our bellies. Again, finding that strong root here. Tops of our feet and pelvic bone really rooted into the mat. Squeezing our shoulder blades together here. Inhaling up, baby cobra or cobra. Exhale, lower. One more time, squeezing up. Exhale, lower. Pressing through our palms, making our way up into kneeling plank or plank. Tucking our toes, lifting our hips up and back, downward facing dog. Bending our knees, walking our feet to the top of the mat, finding that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. Exhaling our hands down through heart center as we lower our hips into our imaginary chair here. Checking in that our knees are behind our toes. Belly button into spine, core is nice and strong. And exhale, folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward, planting our hands, reaching the right foot to the back of the mat this time, high on the ball mound or lowering that knee. Rising up, crescent lunge. Beautiful, exhale, hinging forward, planting our hands, left foot meets right, downward facing dog or tabletop. Inhale, floating forward like a wave to plank or maybe kneeling plank. Lowering all the way down to our bellies. Beautiful, finding our root again here, and we're gonna inhale up into baby cobra or cobra. Exhale, lower. One more time, maybe we squeeze our glutes here. Exhale, lower. Pressing up into kneeling plank or plank, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, hinging our hips up and back, downward facing dog. Bending our knees, walking our feet to the top of the mat, finding that forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. Exhaling our hands down through heart center, lowering into that imaginary chair. Beautiful, exhale, folding forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, and rising all the way up to the sky. And exhaling, mountain. Beautiful, finding our mountain pose here. Maybe we grab a sip of water. And then meeting at the top of our mat in mountain pose. Beautiful, we're gonna inhale our arms up to the sky. Exhaling our hands down to our heart center, lowering into that imaginary chair here. We can walk our feet closer together if that feels better, or they can stay further apart. Remembering to honor your body wherever it is and whatever feels most comfortable for you. Beautiful, we're gonna root into our right leg as we rise up, lifting this left knee towards the chest, flexing the left toes, spine is nice and tall. Inhale, growing nice and long through the crown of our head. And then as we exhale, we're gonna hinge and reach this left foot to the back of the mat, nice and slow, finding our crescent lunge. Beautiful, we're gonna bring our hands to the front, kind of in our belly, and our low back. We're gonna bend this knee just slightly, and I want you to feel that pelvic tilt forward. So feel your pelvis tilting under, almost like your tailbone is pointing towards the ground here. And then if it's available, straightening that left leg, but knowing that it doesn't have to straighten. Just finding a different variation, opening up the left hip flexor here. Beautiful, maybe we lift our arms, maybe we keep them at heart center. We're gonna find a lunge here. So if a lunge is not in your practice, I invite you just to hold this statically. If it's available, we're gonna find our cactus arms here. So bending our elbows, squeezing our shoulder blades together. And as we do that, we're gonna lower this left knee down to the ground. Exhale, rising up, lifting our arms up to the sky. 2 more times, nice and slow, bending our arms, squeezing our shoulder blades, lowering that left knee. Rising up. 1 more time, cactus arms, lowering that left knee. Rising up. Maybe our arms stay lifted. Maybe they're at heart center. Beautiful, we're gonna bring our hands to heart center and we're gonna hinge forward just slightly. So we become this one long line of energy from the crown of our head all the way to our left heel. Right knee is still lunging over the right foot or right ankle. I had to move mine there. We can find our airplane arms if that's available, squeezing our shoulder blades together, palms facing down, Really trying to bring our pinkies to the midline here. Active fingers. As we exhale, rising up. Beautiful. Inhale, hinging forward, finding our airplane arms. Exhaling up. One more time here. Beautiful. Rising up to the sky, bringing our hands to heart center. We're gonna pivot that left foot on a 90-degree angle, finding warrior one. Arms forward and back. Still lunging into that right leg. Beautiful. Right palm reaches up a little, reach forward. Exalt our warrior here. Making our way back. Warrior two. Beautiful. We're going to cartwheel our arms, frame the front foot as we pivot the left foot, bending the left knee. Left foot meets right. Forward fold. Allowing our head to become heavy. Beautiful. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up. And exhaling to mountain. Beautiful. That was really dry there. We're going to try that on the other side. So meeting at the top of our mountain pose. Inhaling up to the sky. Exhaling, hands down through heart center as we lift that chair. Again, bringing our feet to wherever is most comfortable for you. Beautiful. A couple of breaths here. And then rooting into our left leg as we rise up to standing, lifting this right knee towards our chest, flexing the right toes, really creating length through the crown of our head. And then as we exhale, hinging just slightly, moving nice and slow as we reach this right foot to the back of the mat, high on the ball mound, finding crescent lunge. Again, we can put our hand on our low back and our belly, bending this right knee just slightly as we tilt that pelvis down again, and then straightening that right leg if that's available. Arms can go all the way up or they can stay at heart center. And then we're gonna find those lunges. Again, you can stay here if it's available. We're gonna find our cactus back bend, bending our elbows, squeezing our shoulder blades together, lowering that right knee down. Exhale to rise. 2 more times, nice and slow with your breath. And the last time through here. Beautiful, rising up. Bringing our hands to heart center, hinging, finding that airplane here. Again, we can find our airplane arms, squeezing our shoulder blades together, palms down, pinkies into the midline. Exhale, rising up. Hinging forward, finding airplane. Rising up. 2 more times. Rising up. Last time through here. And rising up. Beautiful. Hand to heart center, pivoting that right foot, finding our warrior two on this side. Left palm reaches up a little, reach forward. Exalt our warrior, still lunging into that front leg. Making our way back. Warrior two, cartwheeling our arms, framing the front foot as we pivot the right, bending the right knee. Right foot meets left, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. And exhaling, finding our mountain pose. Beautiful. Maybe you find a sip of water if you need it. Beautiful. Starting in our mountain pose here again. Inhaling up to the sky. Exhale, really hinging at our hips, bending our knees, swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, stepping back into our downward facing dog or our tabletop. Beautiful. Exhaling our right leg up to the sky. And then rounding in as we bring that knee towards our chest, shoulders over our ribs. And then bringing that right foot in between our hands, high on our fingertips, finding runner's lunge here, lowering our hips just a little bit. Again, you can heel toe out that right foot towards the right of the mat if that gives you more space here. Holding this for a breath. You can lower that left knee as well. The left knee is lifted. We're going to lower that. We're going to pivot that left foot on a 90-degree angle, rising up. Warrior two. Right palm reaches up, exalting our warrior one more time here. Beautiful. Making our way to warrior two, straightening that right leg, really kicking out this left hip, reaching forward with our right hand before we topple to the side. Finding our triangle, left arm can extend around our low back. Right hand, wherever it lands on this right leg. So we're not leaning in, we're still rising up through these left fingertips here, like someone's pulling you up to the sky. Beautiful, lunging into that right leg, finding warrior two. We're gonna pivot the left foot as we circle this left arm around, finding crescent lunge just for a breath. Exhale, folding forward, planting our hands, right foot meets left, downward facing dog. Maybe we pedal this out here. Maybe we rock our hips side to side. Beautiful. On our next breath, left leg extending high. And then really rounding a knee towards our chest, shoulders over ribs, bringing that left foot in between our hands. High on our fingertips here, lowering our hips just a little bit, finding that runner's lunge. Again, you can heel toe that left foot to the left if you need to. You can also lower the right knee to the ground. Heart shining forward here. If that right knee is lowered, we're gonna lift it for a breath as we pivot this right foot, rising up to warrior two, really using the strength of our legs here. Left palm reaches up, a little reach forward, exalt our warrior. Beautiful. Making our way back to warrior two, straightening that left leg, really kicking out this right hip as we reach forward and topple into our triangle. Again, almost like someone's lifting us up to the sky with our right fingertips here. Lunging into that left leg, making our way back, warrior two. Pivoting that right foot, circling this right arm around into crescent lunge for a breath. Exhale, folding forward, planting our hands, left foot meets right, downward facing dog. Again, maybe we pedal this out for a breath. And then on our next breath, we're gonna lower our knees to the mat and we're gonna find a child's pose just for a breath or two. Maybe our arms are stretched out front, maybe they're back beside our feet, whatever feels good for you. Beautiful. On our next few breaths, looking forward at our hands, pressing into our palms, coming into our tabletop. We're going to pivot the right foot, keeping the right toes flexed, right wrist underneath our right shoulder, left leg extending, finding our supported side plank. Left arm can reach up to the sky, or maybe we reach it up overhead, palm facing down, bicep by our ear. And then as we exhale, if it's available, we're gonna lift this left leg up, flexing the left toes, and then lowering. Beautiful. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower, nice and slow, 2 more times. Last time here. Lowering that left foot all the way to the mat. We're going to press from our right hand, rising up into our gate pose. Left hand on our left thigh, right arm extending, really reaching. Inhale, creating length. And if it's available, we're going to bend to the left. Beautiful. Coming back to center, cartwheeling our arms, making our way back into our tabletop. Finding any movement your body craves here before you make it to the other side. Maybe a cat-cow, maybe circling at our hips. Whatever it is you need here. And then when you're ready, coming back to our neutral spine, pivoting that left foot off the mat, tucking the left toes, left wrist underneath our left shoulder, right leg extending, right arm lifting high to the sky. Maybe we reach that right arm forward, palm facing down, bicep by our ear. And if it's available, we're gonna lift this right leg off the mat, flexing the toes. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift, nice and slow. Exhale to lower. 2 more times. And last time through. Beautiful. Lowering that right foot, pressing up with that left hand. Finding our gate pose. Right hand by our right thigh, left arm extending. Inhale, really reaching nice and long. And then exhaling to the right if that's available. Beautiful. Coming back to center, cartwheeling our arms, finding our neutral tabletop. And then we're going to tuck our toes, lift our hips up and back, downward facing dog. Bending our knees to the top of the mat, finding that forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, really letting ourselves be heavy here. Maybe we find movement, maybe we rock side to side, back and forth. And then on our exhale, we're going to slowly rise up 1 vertebrae at a time, arms nice and heavy, rolling up nice and slowly here. Shoulders back and down last. Beautiful. We're going to find a standing pigeon as our standing pose. So starting in mountain pose, wherever is most comfortable for you. I'll find a non-squeaky part of my floor maybe. We're going to start by rooting into the left foot. Hands can go to heart center or wherever you would like them, maybe even on your hips to start. We're going to lower into just a little tiny baby chair. And then we're going to cross this right ankle above the left knee, right toes flex to protect our knee. And we're going to gently press our knee to the back. Now know that you can stay here. If this is not available this evening, you can find tree with your toes on the mat as well. Hands, heart center, and if it's available, we're going to lower our hips down just a little bit more, opening up the glute here. Spine is still nice and tall. Holding for 2 more breaths. Beautiful. And when you've had enough out of that, rising up, we can let that go. We can shake that out. Beautiful. Finding that mountain pose again. Maybe hands at heart center to start. Inhale to create length. Exhale, lower into that baby chair, rooting into the right foot. Left ankle above the right knee. Left toes flex, pressing this or left knee to the back of the mat. You could also hold onto a wall if you need to. Hands at heart center. And then as we exhale, lowering our hips down here, opening up our glutes on the other side. Pressing our palms together, creating a little bit of tension, spine nice and tall. Beautiful. Exhale, rising up out of that. And then shaking that out. Making our way to the top of the mat here. Inhaling up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, stepping back into tabletop, and lowering all the way down to our bellies here. We're going to bend our elbows, placing one palm over the other, making a little pillow for our forehead here. Legs are long into the midline. We're really going to root into our pelvic bone here. So really pressing that pubic bone into the mat, squeezing our glutes together. And as we exhale, we're going to lift our legs off the mat just to wherever is available for you. Really squeezing those glutes together. Exhale, lowering out of that. Beautiful. We can let that go. Maybe we rock our hips side to side. And we're going to try that one more time. So really rooting into that pubic bone pressing down into the mat. And then as we exhale, lifting our legs off the mat, squeezing our glutes here. Holding for a couple of breaths. Exhale, lowering our legs back down, letting that go. Again, we can rock our hips side to side. Beautiful. We're going to release our arms, forehead down to the mat, hands beside our ribs. We're going to press up and back, finding a child's pose. Again, arms can stay forward, or maybe they reach back by our feet. Really starting to release here. Noticing how it feels to breathe into the back body. Can you feel your chest expanding? Maybe you can feel your belly rising and falling into your thighs. And in our next few breaths, walking our hands back beside our knees, rising up into kneeling. And then we're going to make our way into the middle of the mat. Reaching our legs forward here. Fleshy bits away, really making sure we're rooted on our sits bones. Spine is nice and tall to start. We're going to inhale our arms up to the sky. And exhale, really hinging at our hips before we round in, finding this seated forward fold, forehead to knee. Releasing the low back here and the hamstrings. Once again, tuning into those micro movements with your breath. Finding the space you're creating with your exhale. Beautiful. And our next exhale, rising up out of that. We're going to find a seated twist this evening. So we're going to bend the left leg, left foot plants on the mat here. The leg can stay here, or you can bring that left foot onto the other side of our right leg, as long as our foot is planted and both sits bones are rooted here. And whichever variation you're in, left hand just outside of that left knee, right arm extending high. Once again, inhale, creating length before we exhale, twisting open to the right. Right fingertips on the mat or the ground. Spine is still nice and tall. Maybe we hug that left knee in, or maybe we hook the left elbow outside of the left or the left knee. Beautiful. Coming back through center and finding that on the other side, right hand underneath the left arm, oh my goodness. Left arm extending high, twisting open to the left. Again, we can hug that left knee in, or we can hook this right elbow outside the left knee, twisting open to the left. Spine is nice and tall. Twisting both ways, making sure we're just straightening everything out. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Wherever that left leg is, we're going to reach that out. We can shake that out. Where we find both twists on the other side. So bending this right knee, right foot on the mat, or we can cross it over the left leg there. Sits bones rooted. Right hand underneath the right knee, left arm extending. Twisting open to the left just gently, maybe hugging that left knee in or hooking outside. Beautiful. Coming back to center, right arm extending, reaching nice and long, twisting to the right, right fingertips cupped on the mat or to the ground. And then if it's available, hugging that left knee in or hooking our elbow outside the left knee or the right knee. Beautiful. Coming back to center, right leg extending. We can shake that out. And then we're going to make our way into the middle of the mat, and we're going to roll all the way down to our backs, hugging our knees in towards our chest. Again, we can rock side to side or find stillness. Beautiful. We're going to release our feet to the mat, to the edges of the mat, and we're just going to windshield washer that out, letting our knees fall from side to side. Maybe our arms go in cactus or T here. Maybe we even look the opposite way our knees are falling. Really slowing everything down. Beautiful. Coming back to center, and we're going to find a happy baby pose. So we're going to bend our knees towards our chest. Hands can start on the backs of the thighs. We're going to let our hips splay open, bringing our knees towards our armpits here. This might be enough for you today. You can stay here. If you'd like to go into full happy baby, we're going to reach our hands through the inside of our legs towards the outside of the soles of our feet, pressing our hands into feet into hands, trying to pull our knees down towards the mat, but making sure our tailbone stays rooted. Again, maybe we stay here, maybe we rock our baby side to side. And then in our next few breaths, we're going to bend our knees, bringing our heels towards our bum, hugging our knees into our chest one more time. Maybe we even round in, bringing our chin towards our chest, forehead towards our knees. And then as we exhale, lowering down into your variation of final resting pose, Shavasana. And when you arrive back on your mat, I invite you to take that nice cleansing breath in through the nose, filling up all the spaces in your body. And exhale, sigh it out, let it go. One more time, if that serves you, inhaling nice and slow. And exhale, sighing it all out. Let it go. And just welcoming breath back in here, like a warm hug from an old friend. Feel the breath as it enters your body. And then as it leaves your body. Once again, noticing how heavy you are on the mat beneath you. Noticing how heavy your shoulders feel. Maybe your pelvis feels really grounded and rooted. And finding the 4 parts of your breath here. Your inhalation, the space before you exhale. Your exhalation, and that beautiful pause before it all starts again. Your life journey. And just finding your breath for a few more moments, allowing me to hold this virtual space for you until it's time to bring you back. And if your mind has started to wander, tethering it back to the moment with a breath. And when your body feels ready for movement, but always remembering that you can stay here as long as you need to. Maybe we invite some small, gentle movements in, wiggling our fingers and our toes. Maybe we rock our head from side to side. And then expanding those movements when your body feels ready. We can roll out our wrists and our ankles. And then find any other movement that your body is craving in this moment. Maybe another big reach stretch, maybe knees to chest, maybe a big hug, or perhaps just more stillness. And in the next few breaths, I invite you to bend your knees, placing your feet on the mat, reaching your right or your left arm over your head and rolling over onto your right or your left side body. Pausing for a breath, noticing how you feel. And then pressing through your palm and making your way up into seated lotus pose, however that looks like for you. Beautiful. And taking one last breath together here in unison, inhaling our arms up to the sky, nice and slow. And exhale, drawing in all that fabulous new energy down to our heart center in gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me again this evening. It truly is an honor to guide you virtually. The love and the light in me truly sees the love and the light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks, Laura. Have a great evening.